What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Fantasy and Other Stuff podcast. First things first, thank you to my patrons. You guys are incredible. I wish that I could hand make chocolate for each and every one of you and deliver it to you personally. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make chocolate, and I don't know where you live, and I don't really think you want me to know where you live. But if I met you in person, I would try and make homemade chocolate, and then I would give you the homemade chocolate as a way of saying thank you. So that was a long-winded way of me saying you guys are awesome, as always. I don't know where I was going with that. That was a little off the rails. We're already going off the rails with this episode. This is going to be a weird episode because I don't actually have all that many things to talk about in terms of reading. I've been reading one book for this whole past week, and it's Lightbringer by Pierce Brown. I finished it just a couple days ago. It's incredible. If you're a Red Rising fan, I mean, it's amazing. It's exactly what you're gonna want for this next entry. In my opinion, it has his best character work. It has some of his best plotting that he's ever had, and it does an excellent job at setting up the final book in the series, because this is the penultimate. Is that even how you say it? I don't even know. It's the penultimate book to the series, the second to last one. Okay, you know what I'm saying, all right? But it did an excellent job in setting up the final conflict, and I can't be happier. I could not be happier with how this book turned out. I was a little concerned because Dark Age is one of my favorite books ever written, and I was like, how is he going to match that? How is he going to be able to match the tempo and intensity and also make it its own new thing? And he does it. I mean, Pierce Brown is just a master. In every book of his that I read, he slowly becomes more and more solidified as one of my favorite authors ever. I loved this book. It was incredible. And if you've seen my Red Rising ranking video, I did one on TikTok. I think this is my new favorite Red Rising book. And it's too early to say that for sure because, I read it 2 days ago. But I feel pretty confident. I feel like this is probably the most... the most tightly written. It's the one that I feel like he was the most focused on exactly what he wanted to accomplish in this book, which a lot of it was just dealing with character growth and characters coming to terms with all the things they've done and been through throughout this series, and that did a lot for coming back to the core of what this series has been about the whole time. So I am over the moon. I thought it was excellent, and reading that on the heels of Jade Legacy was probably a bad idea because Lightbringer made me sob my eyes out. And guess what else did that right beforehand? Jade Legacy. So I'm taking a bit of a break from big behemoth books that are going to emotionally damage me, and I'm reading a Cradle book right now. I'm on book 6, Underlord, and I have my TBR sort of planned out for August. So this is where we're going to diverge from the normal format of the podcast, because I want to do some housekeeping stuff and update you guys on my ideas for the podcast, for the YouTube channel, and just in general moving forward. I plan on making more YouTube content again. It's been a while since I've posted regularly on YouTube, apart from the podcast. My main channel is it's dry, it's barren. There's not a lot going on there. The last time I posted was almost 3 weeks ago, and it was just a One Piece video. And I think I'm just gonna fully lean into being a full-on booktube channel on the main channel and just talking about, doing book reviews. I might even move this to the main channel, the podcast to the main channel, and just make it like a weekly reading update that's on the main channel. But the reason I'm talking about it is I want to get some gauging here. Would you guys be okay with that? I mean, obviously, I'm gonna make a decision one way or another, but I don't know. Would it be weird for my stuff to move to the main channel for you guys? Because I know this is a separate thing for the most part. But I'm thinking about moving it there, and I would continue to post these as a podcast on Spotify and the Apple whatever. I would continue to post these in podcast format on there, but they would also just be part of my YouTube channel as a weekly reading update every single week. That way I can just have everything consolidated. And it's been so confusing because that's how this started. I started it by having it just as something I was posting on the main channel, and then I swapped over because I was I don't want to clog it up, because I was trying to make my main channel more focused on more thought out, written content, and now I'm thinking I don't really want to do that anymore, so I've just been back and forth, and it's a little bit embarrassing because I keep changing my mind, but I think I just want to fully lean into just doing booktube because I'm on Book Talk now and I have like a following. I have like 20,000 followers on there, and I'm wondering if I can transition to also having just a booktube and just really just doubling down on that and just doing that because you know what, at the end of the day, I was so focused on. My channel had originally been built on the back of just talking about like One Piece and manga, and like I love that stuff, but my main passion is fantasy books, and I wanted this to be separate because I was like, well, my main channel's about this, and I didn't want it to be like I was clogging up everyone's feed who'd subscribe to me with stuff they didn't care about. But that's what I want to do. So like I think I'm gonna start doing that. And well, we'll see. I'll ask, especially for the patrons. I'll post something on Patreon, and I plan again. I'm gonna try and stick to that every Thursday, posting on Patreon, so that you guys are getting more value out of that. And I think I'm also gonna start leaning into doing other stuff on my main page. So like monthly reading wrap ups, and doing talking about my TBR, and just making a whole video for that, and doing video ideas that I have that I'm doing on TikTok, but like doing them a little bit more in depth. So like yesterday I posted a ranking Red Rising video, and I think I might do the same thing, but like really get into it. Like it's gonna be, instead of the 2-minute video that I posted on TikTok, it would be like 10 to 15 minutes of me talking about that topic and really, actually exploring it. Is that stuff you guys would be interested in? And it's something I want to do because I do want to utilize my YouTube channel. It's something I'm proud of, and I'm sad that I've neglected it for so long, and I want to just get back to it. And also, I think that there's a wider audience for me to be found, because as much as I love posting on TikTok, I think BookTube would be where I'd find a more consistent audience. I've been rapidly growing on TikTok, but I think that with longer form content is where you find more people that are like gonna consistently return, which is what you guys are, and that's part of the reason I love posting on here, is because I get a lot more direct engagement with you guys, and that's been super fun to me. But just let me know if this is something that you guys would be interested in. Because it's something I think I want to do, and it would also I would be posting more consistently again, and that's something I've been wanting to do, because this is something I'm proud of, that I've been doing this for like a year now, and I'm really proud of the fact that I've found an audience of any kind, that there's people who enjoy listening to me talk, and that just means a lot to me. So anyways, this is why this episode is a little different, is because this past week I've been just reading one book, and I've been thinking about like restructuring, and I've had all this stuff going on. I haven't really done very much apart from reading Lightbringer. Let's see, is there anything else really? I mean, I watched a couple of movies. I watched Mission Impossible. I still haven't seen the new one. I'm going with my friend. We're gonna go see that this week. I watched, if you haven't seen this movie, The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. That movie slaps. And it's one of my favorite movies. Unironically, one of my favorite movies. And I'm still angry that it never got a sequel, because they set it up perfectly for a sequel. And it was a great movie, so it deserved to have one, but it didn't make very much money at the box office. My point is here, if you haven't seen The Nice Guys, you should watch it. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like, I think it takes place in the 70s. It might be the 80s. My brain is so bad at separating time periods, like decades. I think it's the 70s, and it follows Ryan Gosling is like a PI, and Russell Crowe is like, I don't know exactly what to call him. He's almost like a mercenary. Like, you send him to beat people up if you want them to stop doing stuff, and they team up to solve this case about this person who's been murdered. And it's super fun. It's really funny. It's got some great scenes in it. I highly recommend that movie. Not related to fantasy books, but I love it, and I want more people to see it. So that's really all I did this week. I watched those 2 movies. I read Lightbringer, and I've been watching BoJack Horseman. I don't know if any of you guys have watched BoJack Horseman. That show is incredible. This is the first TV show I've so I watched The Bear a couple weeks ago, right? This is the first show that I've had to make myself stop, because I could stay up till 2 a.m. watching this if I really wanted to. It's hilarious. I don't really know how to. It's hard to pitch this show, because I think it's definitely not going to be for everyone. It's very over the top humor. Some of the jokes are really stupid, but that's what makes them funny, is that they're really stupid, and they're self-aware about it. It's because it's BoJack Horseman. The main character is a horse. A lot of the other characters are animals, and there's a lot of really funny animal jokes. Like these birds are trying to leave this building in like one of the first episodes, and they just fly straight into the window. And it's such a stupid little gag. It lasts for like 2 seconds, but it cracked me up. And there's a lot of stuff like that throughout the series. And there's all sorts of like celebrity cameos and stuff. Highly recommend if you haven't seen BoJack Horseman. I'm loving it. I'm on season 3 already, and I'm addicted to it. So like, I'm gonna be talking about it probably until I'm done. But it's been excellent. It's been really good. So that's really all I've been doing though, is watching BoJack Horseman, reading Lightbringer. I've watched a couple movies. I haven't had a lot going on this week. I've been focusing on the things in the future. I've been planning and doing adult things. Gross. Grody. Who is this guy? Who is this silly dude who's working on things? Couldn't be me. I'm supposed to neglect responsibility because I'm still just a wee lad. That's not true at all. I'm not a wee lad anymore. I have to be an adult. And that's fine. I'm figuring it out. I'm doing things. In about a month, I think I talked about this in the last episode, in about a month-ish, give or take, because I'm not actually sure what the date is going to be, I'm moving overseas. I'm going to teach English in Vietnam, and I'm very, very excited. I love travel. I'm very excited to be traveling again. It's been a couple of years since I really, really traveled, and last time I was in Thailand, and I'm very excited to be back on that side of the world and to just explore and see stuff. And you guys will be getting updates on that too. Which brings me to another point. Would you guys be interested? I'm debating making... Okay. This is why I was like, okay, I have a lot of things I need to talk about. I might make another channel. This one might, if I end up moving my content to the main channel from this channel will just, it'll just stop existing probably. Like, I'll keep the videos up, but like, I won't post anymore really on here, if that's what happens. But I might make another channel just for travel content, because for one, I want to document my travels more extensively than I did when I was in Thailand. Like, there are things that I wish that I had taken videos and pictures of while I was in Thailand, and I just didn't do it, and I wish that I had more of that now. I have a good amount of photos, but I wish I had taken more, and so for one, I want to do it just for my own personal life, but I'm also wondering if anybody would be interested in seeing like what I'm up to. I don't know. I think I might do it anyway, like even if no one's interested. But I'm just, again, I want to gauge interest. If you guys would, I mean, they wouldn't be like super long videos, but they would probably be sort of like this, where just once a week I just kind of post something. I show you guys what I'm up to and what adventures I've been on, and I think that could be fun. I think that would be a fun little thing to just have on the side. And I'll sort of be integrating that probably also into my TikToks in some ways, which, you know, it's whatever. It's going to be fun one way or another. But, yeah, just, man, I've had a lot of stuff going on regarding that. And I've been seeing friends and just, I've been actually having a social life. Wow. Is that a crazy concept? I think it is. I think it is a little bit of a crazy concept. This next week, though, I'm going to have a lot more to talk about, because I'm probably going to finish this Cradle book. I'm definitely going to start another thing. I'm going to go see a couple of movies this week. I'll have stuff to talk about next week, but it's been a little bit chaotic for me, and that's fine. That's fine. This whole summer has just been the one of the weirdest summers of my life. It's just so much has been going on, and it's been emotional roller coaster, but here we are. It's the end of the summer. I've got stuff going on, and that means that this episode is just going to be shorter and a little bit weirder than the other ones that we've had so far. Okay, you know what? I just thought of something else that I can talk about. I'm writing again. I don't think I've talked very much about my writing on here. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it a couple times, but I've written a handful of books. I actually self-published 3 of them, and I don't want you to go find them. They're not good, so you should not read them. They're not they're not very good. Especially the first one and the second one. They're not good because I wrote them when I was like, I think I wrote the first one when I was 16. The second one I wrote when I was 18, which is just, you can imagine, they're not good. I also wasn't reading very much when I was writing those, so I'm writing basically based off of things that I like, in the style of things that I read when I was like 12. So, I needed to read a lot more to realize just how bad they were. The third one that I published that 2 years ago. It's also not very good. There's like good parts of it because I was more of an avid reader at that time, and like, I like kind of knew what I was doing. And I mean, at that point, that was the fourth book I had written. So like I had obviously just improved because practice makes perfect. But don't read them. Don't go find them. You can't even buy the first two. I took them down from Amazon, and I'm heavily debating taking down the third book from Amazon because I just don't want people reading them. I don't think they represent me as a writer. I have grown so much as a writer, and also they just, I don't know, I just don't think they're good. So I am writing again, though. I am writing a new book. I don't want to say too much about what it's about because I'm still so early in the writing process, and it's probably going to change drastically. Like, I have an outline for what I want to happen, but I have a lot of trouble sticking to outlines because I might change my whole mind about, like, actually, I want the story to go this way. I want this to happen instead, and I stick to a rough sequence of events when I'm writing, but character arcs and like the twists and turns that I want to write in will probably change slightly. So I'm not gonna say a whole lot, but it is a fantasy book. It's like a fantasy horror is kind of what I'm going for. I want it to be like a I haven't read very much fantasy horror, and I want it to be like a blend of those. Not like too scary, but like very brutal, and like I want it to be very intense, and that's sort of what I'm going for. So that gives you sort of a gauge of what's going on there. But I'm writing again. I'm excited, and I do want this, fingers crossed, to be the book that I actually get published, like traditionally published, because I've wanted to be a writer for my whole life, and I feel like I've read enough now. Like, it sounds weird when I've been saying that, but I really think that if you want to be a writer, you need to have a heavy education in reading. Like, it's just part of the job almost is getting the foundation and seeing how other people write and learning the craft through experiencing it. And on top of that is also just writing. But I've done a lot of writing in my life, and the past couple of years have been time for me to get the foundation and get the education that I need in what the genre is, and what author voice is, and just seeing what other people have done. And I feel like I have the foundation that I need now to really write something great. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I mean, right now it's trash because it's the first draft, so of course it's going to be trash, but I don't know. I think this idea that I have, what I'm working on, the plot and just all the themes that I'm exploring are the best that they've been as a foundation for a story. So I'm very excited. I'll keep you guys updated on that as it sort of takes shape. I'll keep you guys updated on like what it actually is. And that's just something that I'm very excited to be doing. I love writing. I've always loved writing. It's something I'll always do. I took a break for a couple of years, like I said, but now I'm back and it feels great. I love telling stories, man, and I love reading stories. So it's been a good week of it's been a mature growth week for me. You might say I'm in my self-care era. That's not the right word for it. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm in my it's a something era. I'm thriving somewhat, so it's something. I don't know where I was going with that. It's you guys know, if you've been on the internet, you know what I was going for. The joke that I was making, right? You guys understand it? Somebody does? Someone watching this understands it. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. I don't want to keep rambling right now. I don't have anything interesting to say anymore. But this is I know this is a weird episode, and I didn't talk very much about like actually talking about fantasy books, but it's happening. Okay, I'm gonna read more stuff this week, and then you'll get a dump at the beginning of next week. So anyways, yes, let me know in the comments about all the stuff that we talked about in this episode. And until next week, guys, I hope you're happy and healthy. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.